Target. Damn, I like Target. Don't make me go to Walmart because I don't want to go there. That's why the gross weird. Okay. Anyways, after being rejected from getting a job offer at Target multiple times over the year, Notori Green, a Black woman, decided to take a different approach. Now, she joked to her boyfriend, who also had been denied an interview, that if they changed their names and race on the applications, that they would have been offered a job. Well, Green changed her name to Tori and listed her ethnicity as mixed race. After multiple rejections by using her real name, guess who Target offered a job to, an interview to?
Interview.
Tori. What are your thoughts on this story? Whoever wants to go first on this one.
I used to work at Target. I worked at Target in high school. It was my favorite job. I started out as a cart attendant. Can y'all imagine me in a hot ass sun pushing my gay ass out there pushing the buggy? I hated it, but they quickly realized I was smart and moved me to cashier. Then they moved me to the service desk where I troubleshot problems for the guest. This is unfortunate. We know that these type of discriminatory practices do happen in the marketplace, in the workforce. It's unfortunate in this situation because you can't prove it per se. But I have an uncle that taught me one time. He said, if it feels like racism, it is. You know what I'm saying? That was kind of his little rule of thumb when you're in a situation, because situations like this will have you scrambling your brain. Well, are they being racist? Are they not? Was it a different HR manager? Was it a different hiring? You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of factors. You can't prove it, but it definitely looks like something in the milk isn't clean.
That's right. Okay. All right. Al, what do you think about this?
You know what? Target, come on. This is not your first time. This is not your first time. When is it going to stop? Like the last 5 years, Target has had a racial discrimination case, and this is going to be another one that they're going to have to settle. But you know what? It's okay. Let me tell you why it's okay. Because I hope this sends a message to all corporations that continue to exercise racial discrimination tactics to stop us from getting hired. Because this has to stop, right? We see you, and enough is enough. Shame on you, Target, for doing this once again. In the last 5 years, you've settled more than $10 million for being racially discriminatory. Enough already. You got to do better.
Damn, I wish I didn't have this white sounding name. I would have tried to go apply for a job at Target.
You know what? You know what sucks about situations like this? Because obviously a corporate entity has to take responsibility for what happens at the store level. But when you start talking about hundreds of stores across the country, and it just sucks that the overall company ends up having to pay for the actions of lower level people at the store level, because I don't think Target as a company is racist. I don't think, I personally don't. I just think it's the actions of individuals at the store level, and the whole corporation ends up having to pay for it.
It's the actions of America. It ain't a Target thing. All these companies, I knew a girl, smart, brilliant, law school, had an ethnic sounding name that ended in Isha, right? Something Isha. Sent resumes out to law firms, all kind of stuff, couldn't get anything. Change it to a cute little Danielle. Immediately it changed. And this is something I don't even think it's just them that do it. I think we all have a little bit of bias when we hear certain names. And I want to just test us on that. Like when you hear certain names, will y'all automatically, even us being Black, would y'all be like, oh, that's ghetto? Because I find myself like, we have to be conscious of that, because they do, when we hear some of these names, these names that we may deem, damn, that's really far. I think it's an America thing. Like a lot of people just do that with these names.
See,
and I think
this is the deal,
that
Claudia.
their kids.
I get that, but this is the deal. Amy's and Karen's don't get discriminated from getting jobs that they can feed their families because of their names.
Because it sounds white.
Right. I'm saying that. So, I mean, wrong is wrong. I'm sorry.
I'm not saying they're right. I'm saying I think more of us do it. Or if we're being honest, I think a lot of Black people, we do it too.
Yes, when we
But I'm
hear
not going to stop you from hiring you. I'm
when
not going to
we
stop it from hiring. If
when
I
we
see
hear
Nikisha,
when we
I'm going to
hear
know, oh, that's probably a Black person applying for a job here. But I'm not going to say, oh, because your name is Nikisha, you're going to go to this file. Thank you for applying. Sorry, we have no openings when we do.
I
Like,
think what Claudia is saying, I definitely think, Claudia, when we hear certain names, especially within the Black community, we do make unconscious assumptions.
mhm.
We make socioeconomic assumptions. You know what I'm saying? Because let's face it, upper echelon Black people in the 80s were not naming their children Tamika. They were not naming their sons Shaquan. They weren't. You know what I'm saying? So there is a bit of I don't want to say truth, but there is a bit of reason behind some of the assumptions that we sometimes make behind people's names. I don't think they hold true in 2022. But when that whole, my father told me, as a matter of fact, I was like, Daddy, what was going on in the 80s when y'all started naming the children's, Shaniqua and Taquan? And my father told me that in the 80s, there was this big wave of people trying to name their kids African names or whatever. And that's where all of that came from. I found that to be very interesting.
I do wonder about that. And I hope this doesn't sound Karen-esque, because I'm definitely not on the side of the people that discriminate against people that have these names. You don't have control over your name unless you go through the legal process of changing it, right? We are who we're named. Like, our names are our names. And that's why those were our parents' choices. And I just wonder when parents name their kids like these, you know a name that sounds ethnic, and you know a name that sounds ridiculous, right? We like, God damn, like, well, my father's name was Charlie, and my name, it's like Charlie Isha. Like all these extra syllables. And you have to know, in this racist, white dominant society, your kid's gonna be behind an 8-ball, which sucks that we don't have the freedom. We can't name our kids Apple. Like the white folks they'll do Apple or Raindrop, and they're not gonna get the same thing as a name that has an Isha at the end, or Laquan or Daquan, right? It's not fair, but it's true.
Yes.